Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. Spring has finally sprung here. I am super excited. The warmer weather is coming, the sun is coming, the rain is here as well. But mix that all together and that means my tulips are starting to grow outside and that makes Dave a happy camper. To celebrate spring and that warmer weather coming, why don't we do a bright floral wreath today? I'm going to be using 10-inch decomesh and we're going to be doing the daisy petal chain method. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made. For a little change, today I'm using an 8-inch wire frame. This just comes from the Dollar Tree. I'm using this canvas mesh. It's a 7 count that I purchased off of Amazon. 10-inch by 10-yard poly deco mesh in blue and in a salmon color. I'm also going to use this floral center. It's just a piece of styrofoam with some embellishments on top. These are 6-inch cable ties. I'm going to use the gray ones, but the ones from the dollar store work perfectly. And of course, my regular crafting utensils. And here is our shopping list for today's wreath. To start off, I'm going to be using my cutting mat, and I'm also going to be using my rotary cutter to cut my deco mesh. If you don't have these two items, you can totally use a ruler and a pair of scissors. It'll cut nicely. And of course, what is our magic number for today? It is 10. So we are cutting our deco mesh at 10 inches. All I'm going to do is roll out my deco mesh, take that rotary cutter, and cut my deco mesh at 10 inches. So this is 10-inch by 10-yard deco mesh in salmon and a deep blue color. So I'm cutting both of those. And I am going to be cutting 31 pieces of each deco mesh. So it's going to be a total of 62 pieces of deco mesh that's cut 10 by 10. So it's going to be a roll, almost a full roll for each of those two pieces of deco mesh, or the two colors of deco mesh. To create our bundles, I'm going to gather all my supplies. I have a cable tie, a couple of clamps, scissors, and a ruler, and a piece of deco mesh for each color. So that's one in the salmon color and one in the blue. I'm going to place my deco mesh down with the cut edges at the top and bottom. Then we're just going to rotate it a bit, create a diamond shape, and then we're going to fold it in half to create a triangle shape. And then I'm just going to pat it down a little bit, get those edges down, and then I'm going to take that top corner, going to fold it over about a finger length from the edge. And then I'm just going to flatten that a little bit. Now that top edge we just created, we're going to fold it over to where the end of the triangle is, and it's going to be parallel to the bottom edge. We're just going to pat it down a little bit so it can hold its shape. Fold that over once again, so now the points from the left and the right hand side of our triangle, then that creates that little loop that you can see here. I'm going to put my clamp on that just to hold it in place, and you can see the folded edge. It's a nice finished edge versus the other side which shows our folded edges. So that finished edge, that's going to be the top of our little bundle. So we're going to do the exact same thing with our salmon color. We're going to rotate it. We're going to create a triangle shape. We're just going to pat it down a little bit with our hands. We're going to take that top point, bring it down about a finger length from the edge, pat it down again. Then we're going to take that top edge, bring it down to where our point is, parallel to the bottom edge, fold it over one more time, matching up those points, and again we've created the exact same shape, just in different colors. So again, that folded nice edge is our top. I'm going to take the clamp off of the blue color, and then I'm going to wrap it around the salmon color that is flat to our table. So we have that outside edge, and then we have that inside salmon color. So the outside edge is in the blue. I'm going to adjust it a little bit, and then I'm just going to take my ruler, lay the edge, top edge, down, measure out 5 inches, and then I'm just going to use my fingers, crunch it all together, grab that cable tie, and then I'm just going to wrap that around at that 5-inch mark. Measuring it out does ensure that each one of your petals is going to be the same size. Now I'm going to be honest, I didn't do it for every single one. I got a little lazy towards the end, but measuring it out will make sure that you get that perfectly 5 inches there. And of course, here's our finished petal, all ready to attach our wreath. And again, that nice folded edge as opposed to the edges at the bottom are going to be the top of our petal. Once again, we're going to do the exact same thing, creating that triangle there, folding it down. We're going to fold that edge again, fold it over. It's a lot of folding today. But listen, the end result is totally worth it. So I'm just going to continue on doing that for our petals. I'm just folding over the salmon color one again here, taking that blue, putting it on the outside of our salmon color. That's going to create that little daisy chain petal bundle. And I'm going to create 31 of these bundles. So that's why we cut out 31 pieces of the blue and 31 pieces of the salmon color. And again, there's our finished result. I'm just fiddling around with it there. Once you make it, you don't have to leave it. You can, fiddle around with it, make it pretty, just like I did right there. Again, we're going to continue on making those petals. Again, there's 31 of them in total that I'm doing, and here they are all done. I've got them in my little basket. We're going to put that off to the side, and what I've done is I have traced out the middle circle onto my mesh, cut it out, and then attached it with 4 cable ties so we have something to attach our bundles to. So here is our wreath frame. It has 3 rings all the way, and then of course it's sectioned off into little sections with that anchor. There's 3 of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my petals on that inside wire. So this is the outside petal on the middle wire. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cable tie. This is a 6-inch cable tie in gray. I'm going to let it click a couple of times. You can see there I'm not closing it. It's loose. And then we're going to insert our petal. Again, we're going to make sure that those edges that we are exposed are at the bottom and that nice folded edge is facing up. And when I put it into the cable tie on the bundle should be below the cable tie that we're attaching to the frame. So you can see there, I can yank it. It's not coming out. It's going to stay there nice and solid. Now you'll also notice our flower petal kind of goes off on a little bit of a tangent there. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to add another cable tie on there, but in a crisscross pattern. So we have one going to the right. Now we're going to have one going to the left. That's going to create a crisscross pattern. That's going to create tension on both sides such that it equals out. And then our flower petal is going to sit up nice and straight. Once I get that on there, you can see that beautiful crisscross pattern. I'm just going to move it over, and then I'm going to repeat the same process over again. So we're putting on that cable tie. We are making sure that that beautiful folded edge is facing up and the 2 folds are facing at the bottom, so everything will look nice and clean and crisp. And of course, this is a beautiful way to hide all of those cut edges. If you are not one who likes fraying or deals with fraying very well, then this is a perfect method for you. It hides all of that fraying for you. So here I am just attaching that second petal on there using the crisscross pattern with our cable ties. And then I'm just going to continue on adding those beautiful petals on there. And on the outside, I'm going to do a total of 19 petals. That's how mine turned out. I'm just going to keep adding them on in there. If you get 18 or 20 on there, that's perfectly fine, however much you want to. I just didn't want to squish them too much. Flipping it over again, you can see that crisscross pattern of all of my cable ties. It's all nice and neat and all nice and straight too, which is perfect. Now I'm going to work on the inside. So I'm going to be using the mesh. If you would like, you can just use a Sharpie or a marker and trace the line that you want your inside row to go. I'm just going to eyeball it. I kind of laid it out as you saw earlier to see how far in I had to go. And all I had to do really was follow the line of the edges of my first row where those bundles are. And I'm just going to feed a cable tie through the mesh, going to the back, feeding it through the front again, keeping it nice and close, and then adding our petal in there, making sure our cable tie on the bundle is on the inside of the cable tie on our mesh. And of course, on the inside, I'm going to be using a total of 12. So 19 on the outside, 12 on the inside for the 31. For some finishing touches, I'm going to add a pipe cleaner. This is just a full-size pipe cleaner, 12 inches long. I'm going to wrap it around the wire and the anchor wire. I'm going to measure out how long I want my little hook. This is going to be our little hanger, and then I'm just going to wrap the ends around our pipe cleaner as well, creating that loop, which is going to be our hook to hang our beautiful floral wreath. And once I pick it up, you can see there is our little hanger. And to finish off the center, I'm using a pipe cleaner and our little floral center. This is in yellow. I'm going to add some glue right on the back of it. This is just my hot glue. Put that pipe cleaner right in there. Going to add a little bit more hot glue, but I'm going to push it down with my little handy dandy tool. And then we're going to add a little more hot glue, and I'm going to let that dry. And then once it's all dry, all I'm going to do is take those two stems, feed it through the center of my mesh. I'm going to take a look at it. Is it centered? Mine wasn't, so I'm going to move it over just a little bit. Feed those pipe cleaners through. It's centered. Now we're just going to twist, twist, twist. Cut off the excess, and to finish off the back, I trace the outline of our frame onto some yellow felt, cut that out, and all I'm going to do is use my handy dandy hot glue gun on the outside rim of those wires, and I'm just going to place that felt right on there. Watching my fingers, be careful, because what? Hot glue is hot. That's why I'm using my tool right now, and it's a beautiful finishing touch for our beautiful floral petal wreath. Look at this. That center is just full of sunshine. It makes me smile, and I hope it makes you smile too. And this salmon color with this deep blue and that yellow in the center, just the chef's kiss, especially on this white door. I am loving this wreath. I had so much fun making it, and I really do hope you try to make this because the results are just outstanding. Here's a little blooper reel to hopefully put a smile on your face. Rainy day and 17 degrees, so yay! To celebrate spring, I'm going to do a little bit of a colorful wreath today. It's going to be a flower using the daisy petal chain. Why don't I... Spring has finally sprung. The sun is shining today. Floral wreath today using the daisy... Oh my lord, why can't I say that? For the grass to be green and our flowers to come up and our bushes to get nice and green. I don't like that. Floral wreath today. I'm going to be using the daisy petal chain method with 10.5-inch decomesh. 10-inch decomesh. Why did I say 10.5? I don't know. But also those warmer temperatures. Mix that all together and that makes... Oh my lord. Thank you so much for joining me today while I made this colorful daisy wreath. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new project. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.